One of the reasons that more and more visitors come to Budapest is that our capital city played its own dark role in the tragic fate of many Jews during World War II and the terrible consequences of the Holocaust. Here are some questions that we'll see through during our Jewish Heritage Tour. How on earth could 600,000 Hungarian Jews be deported in just 2 months? Why were there already anti-Semitic laws imposed on Jews after World War I? What happened to Hungary once Adolf Hitler was chosen as the Chancellor of Germany? How did that impact upon us? When and why did they occupy Hungary? Soon after the Gestapo arrived here, anti-Semitic laws were introduced again, including the best known and the most visible one, the mandatory wearing of a yellow star. Let's take a moment to picture that. Anyone Jewish over the age of 6, so from tiny children upwards, were obliged to wear a yellow star somewhere where it was visible, either on the upper arm or on the chest. In this way, everyone could tell who was Jewish and who wasn't. Their treatment became even more severe when stores were banned from selling the 3 main sources of protein: eggs, butter, and milk to Jewish people. Already singled out, people were now denied staples of their diet. If a Catholic merchant disobeyed the rules and tried to sell any of these products to a Jewish person, he was punished as well. So no one, apart from the bravest souls, dared to take a risk. Pregnant Catholics received milk for free, but a Jewish lady who was expecting a baby was allowed just half the amount. It did not matter that possibly the life of an infant depended on it. Then Jews couldn't sit down on benches or couldn't sit in the first car of a tram. The list goes on. New anti-Semitic laws were introduced virtually every other day. Soon, Jews had to hand over their telephones and radios to the authorities. Why was this? Try to imagine the situation back then. Jews could only step outside their house for 2-3 hours each afternoon to buy food or rather essentials, or to go to see the doctor. Apart from that, they were not allowed to show their faces in public. Given the circumstances, their only contact with the outside world was listening to the radio and speaking to friends and family on the phone. They were listening to the radio the whole day, hoping they would hear an announcement about the end of the war. Depriving Jews of all means of communication was one of the worst things that could happen to them, because with no phones or radios, they were completely isolated from the outside world. Hello there, my name is Ildi, that is I-L-D-I. It's a typical Hungarian name, so I'm afraid I can't give you an anglicized version. I was born and raised in Budapest, and I'm ready to tell you the truth about this tragic period in our history. If you opt for the extended Jewish Heritage Tour, I'll show you not only parts of the Jewish quarter that everyone knows, such as the 3 synagogues, especially the Great Synagogue, with the Raoul Wallenberg Memorial Garden, the Memorial Tree, and the Jewish Museum, but also spots that even most Hungarians don't know about. For example, hardly anyone knows that there was actually a second ghetto, the so-called international one, with protected houses. A figure who stands out as a shining light against this shameful period was Raoul Wallenberg, the Swedish diplomat. I'm sure you've already heard about him. He's also known as the Angel of Budapest. He established centers to provide food and medical care to needy people, helping to save tens of thousands of Jewish lives. He is also often credited with helping to prevent the complete destruction of the main ghetto, which housed 70,000 Jews. He told the Nazis who were planning to blow it up that he'd make sure they were brought to trial and were executed if they carried out this atrocity. After visiting the international ghetto, I'll show you the most controversial Holocaust memorial in Hungary that you may have heard about at Liberty Square, as well as what I believe is the most moving memorial in Budapest, the so-called shoes by the River Danube. There you'll see 60 pairs of shoes in bronze commemorating those Jewish people who were forced to strip naked before they were shot at close range. Their bodies fell into the Danube and were carried away by the water. We'll also go and see all the headquarters, hotels, villas and houses that the Gestapo took over. And last but not least, we'll talk about the collaboration of Hungarians without whom the Gestapo could never have deported 600,000 Hungarian Jews. So, if you wish to know everything about Jews in Hungary before and after World War II, featuring frequently overlooked details and places of interest, then opt for the extended Jewish Heritage Tour. I'll even show you photos and videos to bring this period to life. Scroll down to the calendar, check my availability, and order the tour or tours you're interested in. The process is as easy as ABC. When I have received payment, I'll book your dates in my calendar and I'll contact you for further details. Should you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. It's always best to send me a message through the contact form on my site because of the time difference and because I prefer not to answer the phone when I'm guiding my lovely tourists around Budapest. I like to give them my undivided attention. That's something that you, hopefully, will experience firsthand too. So, I'll say goodbye for now, or viszontlátásra in Hungarian.